Hello, thanks for joining me today. I am going to be doing a plan with me video today in my navy Filofax Malden. If you haven't seen the setup video for this one, then feel free to go back. It's on the channel. It's, I think, a couple of videos ago now. Maybe I'll leave a link below. But yeah, this is going to be a bit of a different planner, and the story with this one is that my life has completely changed this year. I am currently 24 weeks pregnant, and basically I haven't done much in any kind of planner since since I found out, basically. So since November I've been in a bit of a planner sort of hibernation state while I just feel a bit sick and tired. So here I am anyway. This was supposed to be my New Year planner, and I'm so ashamed because I'm going to be writing in the April tab today rather than the January, but you know, better late than never. And this is a lesson if anyone is undecided about whether to go for dated or undated. I did not do dated weekly inserts for this, and I'm really pleased I didn't. I'm not a big fan of dated. I've got a dated monthlies in this one, so I can keep a track of all of my different appointments for everything at the moment, so I can keep track of all of those. But yeah, I'm sticking with undated as much as possible in this one. Right then, I am ready. Are you planning with me today, or are you just going to sit and have a bit of a chill? I've got everything here around me. I've got everything set up and ready to go. I've got bits and pieces kind of like off screen ready. I've got my planner cart next to me with so many pens. I have even got my favourite coffee mug on the go. I'm not even going to show you because I'll just spill coffee all over my planner. And I'm being prepared with this one. I don't know if you can see this, but I've got my mug warmer with me because I never managed to drink a hot cup of coffee when I'm filming, but today it will happen. I am feeling unstoppable today, but I've just realised I don't have my pen for my planner. Never mind, let me just grab this one will do. I hope this one works. What did I say about being unstoppable? It was literally like a couple of seconds after, it's like, oh, I've got no pen. Anyway, here we go. So this is going to be a bit of a, if you haven't been able to guess already, a bit more of a chatty plan with me. I will be going through, filling everything in for the first time. We're overlooking the fact it's almost April. Filling everything in for the first time, and what I'll do is, when I kind of like zone out and do a load of writing, I'll do what I tend to do and just like whack some music on for you, so you can just kind of like just take it all in, and speed it up, crucially, otherwise you might be watching this for hours. And I'm sure you've got way better things to do, but feel free to use this as a chance to put your feet up and grab a drink and do nothing for a bit, or just grab your planner out too and we can just do some planning together. Thank you. Here we go. Right then, so I've got my inbox section all ready to go, and I haven't got anything in my add to planner section because I'm going to leave this for when I've got stuff to write down, but I don't have time to do it properly. In fact, do you know what? No, I will do something because I've got loads of stuff ready to put in my creative section today, and I'm not actually going to be doing everything I want to do in that because I've just come across the idea of a planner pouch this morning. I've seen these before, but I was looking into it online, and have you seen them? So you've got your planner in a pouch, obviously, if you couldn't guess that already, but the pouch has got lots of pockets, so you've got room for like pens and sellotape and all of that kind of thing. So me being completely unrealistic, I'm thinking, well, I could buy one, but I could make one. So I've not thought it through, but I did, you know, I'll just write it down. Right, so planner, pouch, add to creative section. There we go. So I'm using this as a kind of reminder to come back to do stuff after, but that's literally all I'm going to add because that was like this morning. So this is my new inbox system. If you saw the setup video, then you will have seen this insert so far. I'm really looking forward to using this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to write some details about each thing I want to put in my inbox, and I'm going to tick off at the bottom what it's going to be. So if you can't read that on the video, it says stuff like soon, schedule, long-term, delegate, migrate, and waiting. So I'm going to identify what needs to be done with each of them, but not do it because it's an inbox and I haven't got time to deal with everything right now. And then when it's done, I'm just going to put a big satisfying cross through each box to say that it's done. So I'm just going to fill this in and stick some music on for you. Okay, right then, so you can see from this that I don't take much effort with handwriting because, life's just too short if you haven't got naturally nice handwriting, I think. I wish I had, but I don't. So what I've done on here then is I've got lots of subscriptions that I'm going to think about cancelling or whatever, but it's a sort of thing where I just want to write that I've either paused something or started something on a certain date. I don't want to just write it in a calendar because I want to think about it. I don't want it just to get lost in an archive of dates. So I've written on here that some of these things are long-term tasks, some of them have got to be soon, and I'm also going to schedule them. So this basically tells me that next time I sit down and have some proper time to go through stuff, like those kind of admin sessions that you have, and you've got you're all ready to make any phone calls or send any emails or empty your inbox or something, your digital inbox, your email inbox, then this is when I'm going to sit down and just go through and fix everything. But not yet. This, I think, is the beauty of an inbox. You can put it in here because you are kind of waiting to deal with it, really, so it doesn't have to be done just yet. So I'm going to move on from that one. I'm still in my inbox section, so I am going to turn to my bit here. Now, normally this would be an undated, obviously, 4-box weekly planner, but with these grid inserts, I think they're really versatile because you can do kind of whatever. I'm going to use these as mini lists because I love making lists. There's nothing that makes you feel, I think, more organised than just having a list for something that you haven't started yet. And, somewhere just to dump all of your ideas before you really need to start going over it properly. So I'm going to make a bit of a starting point list for bits and pieces. So the first one is pool trip, because I'm going to go down south by the sea for a bit to visit my sister, because we are hopefully in the process next year of moving down south, moving towards Bournemouth, so I can be by the sea finally. It would have been happening this year, but baby's happening instead, so never mind. Plans change, don't they? So I'm going to have that one, and also TV series. Do you have a kind of a watch list that you sort of work through? Because I think all of the streaming apps you get tend to have an add to my list kind of thing, but I kind of like an overview, and I know IMDb is great for that, but I've got so much stuff on there. I just kind of want the stuff I'm going to watch now. Do you know what I mean? When you finish the series, maybe it's just me, I don't know, but when I finish a TV series, I just feel like I've got this big gaping hole in my life. I'm like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do now? What am I going to watch? So I just want something to remind me, oh yeah, I was going to watch that one, that's fine. So again, I'll just whack some music on while I go and fill in a few bits and pieces for my pool trip. Okay, so I've got my bits and pieces on there. I'm not even going to bother to decorate or use any colours or whatever, because this is an inbox. I think the nature of it is just pretty temporary, and the beauty of this is I'm keeping it really functional, because everywhere else when I turn in it looks pretty enough for me. There are nice bits and pieces, and when I use it, I want to use it in a really, really functional kind of way. I don't always have time just to sit and decorate. You've probably heard me say this before. Sorry for rolling your eyes thinking, again, Ellie, seriously? But I don't always have time to sit and decorate. I'd like to keep it just, grab a pen, add something, move on. So yeah, there we go. So I've got my mini lists sorted out. So that's all good. I might come back and do a bit of a future task bit in here. I might not. I'm still thinking about how best to have my tasks set up. I don't just want a task section. I'm one of these people that just really kind of geeks out on I guess productivity, I suppose, or like just finding the best system so that you don't lose ideas and everything gets done, but simultaneously you don't have too many places to check for stuff, because I really like having stuff online as well. So I've got a digital calendar. I like to have tasks on my phone if they're like, next few days, but I'm still working on the best task system anyway, so we'll come back to that. So I've got on here some daily stuff. I don't need those just yet. That's all fine. Do I also have anything else in it? No, I think that's pretty much it. Right, so I've got my self-care section. And if you remember from the setup video, if you saw that, then this planner has definitely got a self-care angle on it, purely because I'm one of these people that will just be busy and just forget all of the common sense, just get some sleep kind of things. But yeah, 24 weeks into a pregnancy, I'm just like, do you know what? I need to just really think seriously about just keeping healthy. Yeah, that'd be a good idea. So I'm going to fill in some of my self-care bits for now. So I'm going to do this pretty much in one. So I've got my future adventures bit, which I'm going to fill in. A wish list bit as well that I'm going to fill in. And also I've got some self-care headings for down the line when I want to do some more pages in here. Now these are, I don't know if you can see from that, but they are, I'm going to just peel off a little bit, stickers. So I can use these for my headings, but I'm just come back to that in a bit. So I'm going to fill in my evening routine bit, and that's pretty much it for this section. Then I will join you again. Okay, give me a minute. Okay, so I've just put together then some information, and this is more decoration than I normally do, but I wanted to make this page pretty. I might add a little sticker or something after. The idea with this is that I didn't want to have inserts to just fill in. I wanted to have a bit of a free slate really, because I might want to change it a little bit later on, might want to tweak it, and again it's just a little bit more enjoyable just to kind of just start from scratch and just see what I want to put on there. But you see what I mean about these heading stickers? I think that if you've got messy handwriting like me, you never really want to do like a title in your own writing, because you think, oh, I've ruined it already. But I can cope with it if the title looks okay. Anyway, let's move on. So I've got my creative section in here, and so far all I've got is a little printout from the Oatmeal comic. If you haven't seen that, if you are a creative person, I urge you to Google Creativity is Like Breathing, because it is so lovely. Anyway, I'm going to steal some pages out of here, because I don't need all these just yet. I'm going to leave just that one in there for now. I'm trying not to put more than I really need in here, because it's ideally for a whole year. I don't want it to get super full. So we'll see. The idea of this section then, because I really love using Pinterest, and as much as I do love it, it's one of these things that if you're not careful, you just fall down the scroll hole, don't you, if you like using it, and you just, you start looking at it and then you just emerge like an hour later and you think, oh my goodness, what have I just been doing? Why is it dark outside? So what I wanted to do as well, I think, because if you're anything like me, you tend to kind of hoard loads of bits and pieces on these kind of like online collection board things. But it tends to get, I think things that you want to do tend to get lost unless you're really organised and, careful with pruning it and, taking off bits that you don't particularly want. So what I wanted was to take some bits off my Pinterest board, and I've literally just screenshotted some stuff, things that I find inspiring and bits and pieces that I didn't want to forget about, so I'm bringing them into my planner. Obviously this doesn't have all of the benefits of some sort of online thing. We're kind of like IMDb and like having a list of programs. You haven't got that detail that you can get online, but it makes it a little bit more visible because it brings everything into the same place, which I think is the beauty of a planner like this sort of thing. So I've got, again, some more headings because clearly I've realised I can print off headings and make them into stickers, so I'm going to be doing it all the time. So I've got some headings here. What I've also got are, so I've got my washi tape, and I've printed off so far, I had fun doing this. I printed off bits and pieces that I've had on my board that some very, very, very talented people are doing, and I just like to look at them and think, do you know what, this is what I want to do at some point, something like this. And I found some little stickers that go, so basically I'm going to dedicate a page to each one of these little projects that I'd like to be working on soon at some point. So yeah, this is where I stick some more music on and get quiet for a little bit while I make a page for all of these things. So I will see you on the other side. Okay, so I think that's that section pretty much finished. So I didn't really plan where anything was going to go. I just picked out some bits that I thought looked quite cute together, and I've got some space on there to add more bits and pieces or any notes about bits that I might want to try or websites or something like that. And I've got space on the back as well to add to, or should I actually manage to get some of this stuff done myself, I can put a photo of something that I've managed to get done as well. So we've got needle felting and polymer clay earrings, beaded jewellery, watercolour landscapes, drawing and sketching and painting. So I got all these things I'm probably not going to manage to get done before the baby comes, but never mind, at least it looks pretty. So I'm going to move on then to my reading section. And the point of the reading section, I did a lot of thinking about this. What I wanted, or what I thought I wanted, was some kind of reading journal, but excuse me, but I realised that I probably don't want to make notes on everything I read, because sometimes I just want to read trash. I just want to switch off and get back into the habit of reading, and I just want something that's going to be a bit of a page turner, nothing else at all. But I think the bit that I did want to take away from that was I wanted to keep a track of what I've read, just so I can look and think, oh, I've done quite well. I'm going to keep going. So the way that I've done that is I've got some completed book stickers that I'm going to whack on my completed books bit, and then when I read something a little bit more worthy, then I'm going to be making some notes. I might have to build up to that. I mentioned before I've got some books that I wanted to reread, like Habits by James Clear. I remember reading it at the time and thinking, oh my goodness, this guy makes sense. Can I remember any of it? No. So I'm going to go back and remember all of those things I thought were just brilliant ideas and write them down. It just takes me back to my teaching days. Like, my students would always say, I don't need to write it down, I know it, I remember it. I'm like, yes, but will future you in a year's time remember it? Probably not. You always have way much more trust in future you. You always think they're going to be more intelligent, more motivated, have a much better memory, and from personal experience that doesn't happen. So I'm going to go and make some notes. But for now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to steal some stickers and I'm just going to whack them on and see what books I've managed to read so far. Okay, there we go. Oh, I've done quite well. Anyway, it literally was just the purpose of that bit. Right, so the brain dump bit in here is different to last time, and the idea of this is something I'm not going to go into now, to be fair, because I don't feel the need to fill this in now. But this is a sit down and actually go through the whole process insert, rather than quickly write something down and keep adding to it. So this is a, find yourself half an hour and just go through. And it's the sort of thing that you'll do when when everything seems a bit much and you're carrying all these tasks and dates around in your head, and oh god, you don't know your bum from your elbow, and you just think, oh my goodness, what am I doing? This is designed as a bit of a sort of cognitive SOS kind of thing. So not now, I'm all good. So I shall also move on past the note section, because that is literally just note paper, and I shall just pretend that January and February did not exist. And I'm going to whiz straight to the back of March, because we're there now, and as soon as I've got this filled in, I can just pretend that it was just like it all along. Never mind. Right, okay, so I'm going to fill in my reflection wheel, and chances are, if you've seen any of my other videos, you've probably seen this sort of thing before. Just super quick. The idea of this is to make you stop and pause, and just to briefly evaluate where you are at the moment, what's going on. Because if you're anything like me, and I'm sure in this respect you are, you've got different elements of your life. And I kind of think it's a bit like plate spinning. Have you seen that? When they're just like, you keep your plate spinning in the air, and like you focus on one and it's going brilliantly, and then you look at all of your others and they all start to just like tumble. And it's hard to keep everything going all the time. I don't know if it's even possible, to be fair, to keep it going all the time. I don't seem to manage to do loads of work, to also get lots of rest, to also make time for friends, to also make sure that the house is clean and tidy, to also make sure that I'm eating regular healthy meals that are planned. Like, is that even possible? I've got no idea, but I can't do it. I'm old enough that I should be able to do it, but apparently not. So all this does is make you pause and just think about those different areas and what's going well, which is great, but what you think you may have been neglecting for a little while, and that informs your next month. You might be doing brilliantly with work, but everything else might have just gone way downhill. Relatable, I'm sure, but it's just a chance for you to just take a moment to think about that, and ideally that would be an every month kind of thing. So when I've done this, then I'm going to look at what areas on here are a little bit neglected. I'm going to write them down here, and then I'm going to try and think of some things to solve that, and think about what I'm going to make time for next month. So the idea is that I've got 8 areas to write down in here, and then in these 8 areas I'm going to plot out on the line where that comes to, and then make myself a crazy little shape. And ideally, if I was on the ball in all areas, pretty much the whole thing would be filled in. If I'm doing terribly at everything, you're going to see a little speck of colour in the middle. So let's see, I'm just going to go quiet for a bit and stick some music on for you again. Okay, so I got myself a spiky little shape there. So the idea of doing this is that it really kind of, what's a good way to say it? Like it visually draws your attention, because if you don't have balance, you won't have an even shape. And I think sometimes when you just think, oh, I feel a bit off, why? It's like, it's hard to pinpoint it, isn't it? But if you make an effort to just isolate the different areas you've got going on, literally measure each one, and it's a bit more obvious. So I've got some things then that I definitely want to make time for next month. So on that note then, I'm going to move to April, and I'm going to take out my little dashboard here, and what I'm going to do then is start to fill in my goals for the month, and importantly a why, so I can actually remember why I'm doing it in the first place, which is so important. I think if you kind of run out of steam a little bit, I'm going to make sure I've got my tasks for the month. I'm going to make sure I've got stuff that I'm going to make time for, which is pretty much informed from that, and I'm going to look at any events that I've got coming up as well. Okay, so I'm just going to go quiet for a bit while I fill that one in. Okay, so what I've got on there so far, that's just a bit of a snapshot of next month. So I've got not a running list of all of the tasks I've got to do, but literally just those for that month, nothing else at all. Anything with like a date on it, pretty much. So I've also got as well birthdays and events. Now, I thought of for a minute when I was filling in this one, because I've got lots of stuff to do, but this, I think, to make it really useful, it needs to be a very condensed version, like the big things that you've got coming up, rather than like appointments and that sort of thing. So I've kind of left that at there. So now I'm gonna flip over and just take a minute to appreciate my only dated bits in the whole planner. And what I'm going to do on here is I'm going to mark literally everything I've got coming up, and pretty much leave it at there, I think, until the weekly view. So I'm going to go quiet again then while I complete all this. Okay, so I think that's pretty much all I've got for that one. So as you can see, I was using some dot stickers while I was doing that. I'm using them to colour code a little bit, just to make it a bit clearer. So anything to do with my little girl's school, I'm having like the green colour, and anything to do with baby related stuff, that's the pink colour. And on major days I've got coming up where it's like a big event that we've got to go to, then that's like a washi tape kind of thing. So I'm also going to just write a couple of notes on the side to mark off when it's Easter holiday. In fact, I will use a little bit more tape for this one, I think. This is why I really like having these clear dashboards, because I think it makes it really easy when you don't carry everything around with you, when you just want to have like a planner just to pick up and go. it means that it's, I think, that much more likely that you're going to use stuff like that if you can just have a little bit with you all the time. Much more helpful. There we go. Right, done. Okay, so I'm gonna be looking at my habit tracking for the moment, not my health tracking and not the reflection just yet, because this is something that I'm going to be filling in any day as needed, and obviously the reflection is going to be at the end of the month again. So I'm just going to start on my habit tracking. Now I'm going to come back to this at a different point because I think it's something that needs to be gone over really carefully. I was talking to my husband about this because he wanted to track stuff, and I think there's lots of different ways to track stuff, and each one has got its own merit depending on what you want to get out of it, or whether it's a habit that you're trying to build, trying to maintain, or you're trying to kind of, I don't know, to sort of problem solve a little bit, like if it's not working. So I'm just going to fill this in as a bit of a framework for starting off the month. So I'm not going to be ticking anything off yet because this is April onwards, but what I am going to do is write down the habit that I'm going to be working on, and I'm also going to write myself a why to remind me why I'm doing it for when I feel a little bit demotivated, inevitably, and also a tip on how to make it easier as well, because if you can make it easy then you're going to be that much more likely to stick to it. Okay, give me a minute. Okay, so that's all I'm doing for that little bit then, and I'm going to move on to my week. So Friday is the 1st, so I'm going to pretend that this is this week. It's currently Wednesday, so I'm going to be doing a bit of a weird half job on this. There's going to be a lot of missing bits and pieces because I'm not quite in the zone, organisationally speaking, today, but I'll do what I can anyway. I'm going to pretty much leave that there for the moment. So this is a bit of a strange half and half kind of week because I'm literally just setting it up now, but I will be using this every day now it's actually done, and I'll be reviewing it again at the end of the week. So my little dashboards I'm probably going to keep them in this page actually, just because I've got my weekly task card and I just want to make sure that I've got everything this week that I want to get done. So all I'm going to do then is pop my pens back, pop my stickers back. Actually, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make myself a little note to remind me that I'm just going to tweak my dashboards. Not dashboards, what am I talking about? My inbox system. Right, so that's literally it, but all I'm going to do with that one then is find a little bit of washi tape. Again, you might have noticed a bit of a theme with this planner. There's been a fair bit of washi tape, finally, because there isn't normally. And I'm going to steal that bit actually, there we go. I'm going to steal him. And where was I? Here we go. Right, I'm going to put that one on there so it's not necessarily covering anything too important. There we go. Right, I'm done. Good grief, that took ages. Oh, but we're finished. That is good. I feel so much better now. It's like you can make do without a planner if you're into planners, but it always feels good when you've kind of got back into it, I think. I feel like I know where everything is now. I feel like nothing is going to get forgotten or lost or anything. It's all good. Right, so I've got lots more videos coming up on the channel. So if you want to subscribe, if you haven't already, I would super appreciate that. Please drop me a comment as well if there's something in this video that made you think, oh, I could do that. I'd love to hear it. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.